and welcome to Sarah's Stamping Retreat. Today I'll be using some card sketches and this gorgeous abstract beauty suite to create 5 note cards. And I love this suite for note cards because it's quite abstract, so you can make some nice abstract designs which kind of don't have a theme, so it's nice for like thank you or I miss you or all those kind of like just everyday type things. So in the stamp set we've got this calls for celebration, I miss your face, thank you, so happy to know you, hello beautiful, and first of all you're amazing. And then we've got these kind of like abstract shapes, so you've got some kind of leaves and flowers and just kind of blobs and bits in there. And that combines with this die set. So you've got this circle with the abstract kind of wavy lines inside it, and then some layering circles as well. You've got some hexagons, and you can obviously use those because they're layering to make frames or make solid shapes. You've got those 2 solid hexagons as well, and this one which you can use to create 2 different halves of a hexagon. You've got these diamonds, and they can also be used to create a cube shape as well. So you can see on this card here they've used the diamonds and arranged them to make cubes, which makes a nice background. And then we've got some abstract shapes and some triangles as well. We've got these adhesive backed hexagons. We've got some card blanks that go with this suite as well. So all of the envelopes have kind of different pattern liners in them, and you get 5 different colours of kind of watercolour wash type card blanks. And you also get 5 different colours of just textured card fronts. So I think those are really lovely. Then we've got the papers. So these are 4 inches by 6 inches and they're speciality DSP. So you get 48 sheets for each of 12 designs, and they are foiled on one side and plain pattern on the other. Then finally we've got our ephemera pack. So you get 3 sheets in here. You get this one which is gold foiled vellum. You've got this one which has these pieces on, kind of like tabs, a couple of frames, some kind of abstracty flowers and leaves. And then you've got this one with like speech bubbles and hearts and little bits that you could use in like journaling or underneath sentiments. You've got all sorts of cute little bits and pieces, stars and hearts and things. So as I said at the start, I'm going to use some sketches to create cards today. So sketches are kind of like templates for cards, and I think these are really great for if you're having a bit of a day when you can't really think of what to do or you've lost a bit of your mojo. This is a really good way to kind of like kickstart it, because it's not literally giving you the card, you're not just copying, but it's giving you the layout for you to then kind of like work into your own card. So I really like it for kind of kickstarting my mojo. So I've got 5 different sketches here, all from freshly made sketches, and freshly made sketches actually do a sketch a week, and if you visit their website you can actually join in with their sketch challenges. It's just for fun, but it's a nice thing to do sometimes and see what everyone else has come up with as well. I've printed out this one big so that you can get the idea. So you've kind of got the layout, so you've got a couple of squares, you've got a shape here, a bit across, and then you can follow that and alter it as much as you want. Remember, it's your card, you're using this sketch as a template, but you don't have to stick to it exactly. And then I've got 4 more here which I'm going to use too. So we're going to start with this one. And so for this, you can see I've got a couple of squares that are made out of the pattern paper from the pack that I showed you. This heart is actually one of the ephemera pieces, and that's what actually drew me to this. Even though it says any shape, I thought actually that would be perfect to go in place of this. And then you can see I've gone for a bit of a slimmer band than they've gone for, so that will go there. So it's going to be a really quick one to make. I've used one of the cards from the card pack. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat emboss this with a sentiment. So I'm going to go with the thank you sentiment from the coordinating stamp set. So I'm going to stamp that with the Versamark ink on here. And then I'm going to use gold embossing powder. And I'm just going to heat that with my heat tool to melt the powder. So I'm going to pop some dimensionals behind this. I'm going to put it on here so that I can see how far along I need my dimensionals. And I'm just going to chop the end off that. I'm going to glue that on like that. And I'll glue this one on like that. Then I'm going to pop some dimensionals behind my heart. And then I'm going to use some of these hexagonals up in the corner. And I'm actually going to do a big one, then a medium one, and then a small one. So that's our first little card. So then for the second one, I'm going to use this sketch here. So then I've got one of the card blanks that is part of the suite. And then these are actually pieces of scrap that I've cut things off for other projects. So this is 1 3/4 by 5.5 inches. This is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 inches. And this is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4 inches. By 3 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to lay those out as they're laid out on there. Obviously I've left less board around mine, so I've kind of changed it a little bit, but not too much. So I'm just going to glue those onto my card. Then I'm going to heat emboss the thank you sentiment onto this piece of Night of Navy cardstock. So this is the biggest of the normal circles, and then in gold foil sheet I've cut out one with the abstract embossed circles, so you can see those. That's really lovely. So I'm just going to heat emboss my thank you onto that circle. So I'm just going to heat that up, and then I'm going to pop this up on here. So then I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back of here. And pop that on there. And I'm going to use some more dimensionals just to pop some of these bits from the ephemera pack around the outside. So that's our second card done. And you can see I didn't follow it exactly. I added a bit through here just to add a bit of interest. So then let's move on to this one next. So for this one I'm going to heat emboss the thank you directly onto the card. So again I'm using one of the card blanks from the pack, one of the watercolour wash ones this time. So I'm just going to stamp that just here. I'm stamping that in my Versamark ink again. I'm going to pop over some gold embossing powder. And let's heat set that. heat setting does warp your card slightly sometimes, so I'm just going to make it, and then afterwards I'll put it under a book to keep it flat. Now I'm just going to use these pieces from the ephemera pack to decorate it. So let's put some dimensionals behind these. Then I'm going to use some glue dots to add on these leaf pieces. And I'm just going to add a green hexagon onto here. And then I'm going to add pink ones onto green. And then we've got a cute little thank you card. So let's do this one next. So for this one, I've got an A6 petal pink card blank. So that's 8 1/4 inches by 5 7/8 inches, scored and folded in half. Then this piece of paper, I've left the width of, so it's 4 inches wide, and then it is 5 3/4 inches long. So I've not cut anything off the width from the paper pack because it's 4 inches wide in the paper pack. I've just cut a tiny bit off the top, so it's 5 3/4 inches long. I'm just going to glue that onto the front of my card. And then I've got 3 strips. One is in Petal Pink, one in Magenta Madness, and one in Just Jade. I'm going to lay those across my card. And then I'm going to cut the excess off on the other side. And this piece is 2 1/8 by 4 1/8 inches, so that is Petal Pink, and this is 2 by 4 inches. So I'm just going to glue those two pieces together. And this is obviously paper from the paper pack. So let's pop that up on some dimensionals. And then I'm going to use the thank you in light of navy ink, and I've just cut this piece out with one of the dies. So I've cut that out in Petal Pink, and you can see it embosses like lines in it as well, so that's quite cute. And I'm just going to stamp this thank you on it, and then I'm going to pop some glue at this end and a dimensional at the other end, and then I can just pop that on here. That's my 4th card done. And then we're going to finish up with this one here. So this time I've got an A6 card blank in Just Jade. You'll see there's a bit of a smudge on it, but that's fine because we're going to cover it with this. So this is a piece of paper from the pack, and it is 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Then you can see this piece I've cut with the largest circle that has these indents on it. And I've cut a piece of the paper from the pack with the next circle down. And I've got a few ephemera pieces as well. So I'm going to start gluing some of that together. And I can glue that onto there. And then I'm going to heat emboss the thank you sentiment onto this piece of Just Jade cardstock. I didn't actually set out to use the thank you for all of them, but actually it fits quite well on them, so I've ended up using it for all of them. So I'm just stamping that in my Versamark ink, and I'm going to use my gold embossing powder to emboss that with. Then I'm going to cut a little flag end into there. So I'm going to cut up the middle, and I'm going to cut from each corner into the middle. So then that will go there. And then these are pieces of from the ephemera pack. So they can go there. So let's get that all glued on. So I'm going to use some dimensionals for the back of the circle. And I'll pop a bit of glue on there. And then I'm going to pop this one up on dimensionals. And then I'm going to use glue dots just to attach the leaves. And then I'm going to go in again with some of our hexagons. So then that's our final card done. So let's bring them all in. So there are all our cards from today. I really hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you have, I'd appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, YouTube will also notify you every time I've got a new video available. All of the products that I've used today are listed in the description below, and there's also a host code there, so if you pop the host code into your basket before you check out, then I'll send you a free gift after the end of the month. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.